Okay, good to go, ready to go, good to go, ready to go. One of these days I'll be good to go. Hello there, welcome. Hopefully, everything's good to go. 1 second, I need to sneeze. Or I guess not. Hello, welcome. I totally didn't forget. I definitely did not forget that I had a stream today. So, I'm half an hour late, and I had to rush everything up. Hello there, what's up? Hi Twitch, the card art and the thumbnail is recolor of Amber Dragon Dusk from Cardvite Vanguard. Oh, is that what it is? I see. Let the brokenness begin in the middle of class. In the middle of class. I too am in the middle of class. And class can't wait. Man, isn't it great being in school? Am I right, fellow people who are not 28 years old? So, like, sent my archetypes, but I just realized it's OTKs too easily, but now it's too late and that's sad. A deck that OTKs too easily is fine. Like, if your deck can't OTK, then there's something wrong with your deck. I'm surprised what you think is too easy to OTK, though. The problem is FTK. That's the thing you want to worry about. FTKs are the problem ones. OTKs are not. They both sound differently, and they both technically allow you to win in one turn. However, the difference between an FTK and an OTK is night and day. Okay, so what I can say is I'm only going over a couple of cards today. There's a grand total of like, fuck, I forgot. I mean, heck, I forgot. 23. I'm not gonna go over all. That's a lot of cards. So what I was thinking, a good compromise. Maybe next week, I'll do a thing where I have a custom card stream every day for a full week. And I'll get through a whole bunch of cards that I just have piling up. And I'll review all of them. But not all of them, because some of them are kind of like memes. I kind of avoid cards that just don't have actual effects. Or the cards themselves just say lol random. Or some of the cards are just really bad and I don't want to make fun of them. Custom card marathon, yes. I want to say next week. But I don't know if I'll do it next week. Because I don't have time to do it. I'm really behind on work. And the custom cards, the streams, they take a lot out of me. And I don't want to destroy my throat. But that's just something I'm thinking about. One of these weeks, either next week or the week after, or I'll cancel it. Either way, I'll probably make a Twitter post or community post about it if I decide to do it. A custom card review marathon. That way, after I go through all those cards, for like every week, I can have like a theme. So people will submit themes, and then we can just review that way. I think if there's a theme, you know, and some of the themes will just be your custom archetype or whatever, that might be more fun for me. Probably not fun for you, but I like the idea. But before then, I kind of want to cover a lot of the cards that have been sent in. And there's a lot of them. Like, a lot of them. Like, a lot. Like, you know, even if I reviewed them all next week, I still probably wouldn't finish them all. So, why the doggo with the bonk? This guy was sent in like 2 months ago. That's just how behind I am. Deal damage equal to your opponent's life points. What is an Easter egg? I don't know. Alright, let's get into this. So, Bouncing Faithful Boy. Text is kind of small. Let me make this bigger for me. If I make this a little bit bigger. I should be able to read it without having to zoom in. Okay. If this card is normal or special summoned, banish it at the end of the turn. If this card leaves the field, you can special summon it from wherever it was sent to during your next standby phase. From wherever it was sent? If this card is normal or special summoned, banish it at the end of the turn. What if this card is banished face down due to Eater of Millions? Does it still come back? Because it says wherever it was sent. If this card is sent from your hand to the graveyard or to the banish zone, you can add it to your hand during your next standby phase. From your hand to the graveyard, okay. This card cannot be tributed nor uses material except for the summon of a bouncing card. If this card is normal summoned, return one monster from your opponent's side of the field to the hand. Then add one bouncing card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay. So, this card cannot be tributed nor used as material except for the summoning of a bouncing card. If this card is normal summoned, return one monster your opponent controls to the side of the field, then add a bouncing card from your deck to your hand. I'm just looking for like restrictions here, because what I'm seeing is a card which makes excellent discard fodder. It's like Sinister Serpent. You just get the card back. I don't think there's a hard once per turn on it. As long as it's in your hand, you get the card back during the end phase. During the next standby phase. So just like pre-errata Sinister Serpent. Except better. This card can totally be used in a duel. It's a better Sinister Serpent. Hey, DuelLogs, how is DuelLogs doing today? Did the DuelLogs have a review of Cyberstein, Dr. Stein, and Doc Trainer and Made of Troubles, One Storms, a great card for a Winkle? What? Banish Zone doesn't exist? You're right. There is no Banish Zone. The Banish Zone is the term for cards that are removed from play. We have a Banish Zone, but technically it's not a zone. Sinister Serpent on drugs were boiled on a pot with ecstasy. Yeah, it's like a better Sinister Serpent. Hey, DuelLogs, how's your custom card backlog? It's gigantic. Alright. Next one. Bouncing Rue. Are they all level 3 beasts? Looks like rescue cat targets. If this card is special summoned, banish it at the end of the turn. If this card leaves the field, you can special summon it from wherever it is sent to during your next standby phase. If this card is sent from your hand to the graveyard or banish zone, you can add it back to your hand during your next standby phase. This card cannot be tributed nor used as material for the summoning of a bouncing card. If this card is normal summoned, return one spell or trap card your opponent controls to the hand. Then you can send one bouncing card from your deck to the graveyard. It do be bouncing though. Yeah, so all of these bouncing cards are like better Sinister Serpents. That's kind of good. However, this one only bounces a spell or trap, whereas this one bounces a monster. Faithful Boy is way better than Rue. Bouncing Tiger. If this card is normal or special summoned, banish it to your next turn. If this card leaves the field, special summon it. If this card is sent from your hand to the graveyard, add it to your hand. To your next standby phase, this card gains 200 attack for every bouncing monster you control. While this card is face up on the field, other bouncing cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card is normal summoned, return 2 cards from your opponent's side of the field to the hand. Then select 2 monster zones. Those monster zones cannot be used until the end of your opponent's next turn. Huh. No double Gur. I'm disappointed. That's a pic from another card that exists. Yes, it is a photoshopped image from another card. Okay. Bouncing Cerebrus. I read this one last time. If this card sent to the graveyard, blah, 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 banish it. Okay. If this face-up card would be destroyed or banished by a card effect, you can banish 1 bouncing card from your graveyard instead. If this card leaves the field, add 1 level 1 monster from your deck to your hand. You can tribute 3 bouncing monsters to tribute summon this card to gain this effect. The return this monster is tribute summoned. The turn this card is tribute summoned, banish up to 3 cards your opponent controls. Banish up to 3 cards from your opponent's field, hand, or graveyard. Is the hand target not chosen at random? You get to look at your opponent's hand? Another edited from another card? Why are you saying that like that's a bad thing? I hope someone finds my custom magical hat support. Yeah, I think I missed it. I didn't see any magical hat support. Bouncing Castle. Field spell card. Once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed or banished by card effects. If this card is activated, add 1 bouncing monster from your deck to your hand. While this card is on the field, the effects of bouncing cards cannot be negated. Once per turn, you can activate each of the following effects. Negate the activation of 1 card effect that specifically prevents you from special summoning 1 or more monsters and destroy that card. Whoa! That prevents you from special summoning? So it's like Witch's Strike. Kind of. How is Witch's Strike worded? Witch. Edo Pro. Is it showing up? There we go. Witches. Here it is. Witch's Strike. If your opponent negates the normal or special summon a monster or the activation of a card or effect, destroy all card in your opponent's controls and in their hand. Huh. I don't know if that would work, though. If a monster your opponent controls declares an attack, banish 1 bouncing card from your graveyard, negate the attack, and destroy that monster. Banish 1 bouncing card from your graveyard, target 1 card on your opponent's side of the field. Its effects are negated until the end of this turn. That last one's pretty good. So, once per turn, this card can't be destroyed or banished by card effects. Ooh, Cosmic Cyclone protection. This card is activated, add a bouncing card from deck to your hand. While this card's on the field, the effects of bouncing cards cannot be negated. Once per turn, you can activate one of the following effects. Yeah, this is a really good field spell card. Very modern game design, too. I feel like you already read this one before. I did read one of them before. I didn't finish the whole archetype, though. A card with 40 effects? Yeah, hey, that's a good field spell card. Bouncing back and forth. Send 1 bouncing card from your deck to the graveyard, but its effects are negated. What do you mean? Bouncing cards don't activate when they're sent from the field, the deck to the graveyard. If this card leaves the field, you can spell summon it. If this card is sent from your hand to the graveyard or to the banish zone, you can add it to your hand during your next standby phase. But its effects are negated. They don't activate any effects when they're sent from the deck to the graveyard, though. Then add 1 bouncing card from the banish zone to your hand, except bouncing back and forth. Is that spell speed 1 effect? There is Rainbow Ruins that has a spell speed 2 effect on a field spell card. Careless Bouncing. If your opponent has a normal or special summoned 5 or more monsters this turn, discard a card, then banish the last monster special summon before the activation of this card, and then end your opponent's turn. You can activate this card from your hand, and if you do, your opponent can draw a card. If the activation of this card would be negated, banish 1 bouncing card from your graveyard instead. So it's like Nibiru. It's an archetype-specific Nibiru. If your opponent normal or special summon 5 more monsters in this turn, discard a card, then banish the last monster special summon before the activation, and then end the turn. You can only activate this card from your hand, and if you do, your opponent draws a card. So, yeah, that's good. If the activation of this card would be negated, banish a bouncing card from your graveyard instead. That's kind of an awkward effect. I don't think there are really any card effects that work like that specifically. If anything, you should require a bouncing card to allow you to activate this card from your hand. Otherwise, it's just a staple. It does nothing if you go second. What do you mean it does nothing if you go second? This is exactly the card you'd want if you go second. This card can do it. Literally an archetype-specific Nibiru that's more OP. I don't know if it's more OP than Nibiru. It's more like an extra Nibiru. Because it does require you to discard. It also only gets rid of one card. It does end the turn, which is big. But yet, generally, you can drop a Nibiru on someone and that ends their turn too. Could be if you control monsters that are not bouncing monsters, you can activate this card from your hand. Yeah, you would need like one of those cards in your hand in order to activate it from your hand. In which case, yeah, it would be useless going second. That's true. That's kind of the crux of an archetype-specific card like this. The reason Nibiru is good is because you can use it going second immediately. Ending turn is a little bit strong. Yeah. Anything that plays with phases is kind of broken. True, true. All right. Chaotic Bouncing, a divine attribute meme counterspell card. This is more OP than Nibiru, although it loses to Herald since you can discard a bouncing card to the graveyard to prevent the Herald up. It still loses to Herald because you can't discard a bouncing card to the graveyard to prevent the negation with Herald up. What? Oh, because the discard happens later within the spell effect, I guess. If you control monsters, or if you only control bouncing monsters, you can activate this card from your hand. That's still good, though, if you're going second. Wait, this isn't Yugi Poops? No. Let's see. Chaotic Bouncing. To activate this card, you must slam it on the field as hard as possible. This card activation cannot be negated. Change the positions of 2 monsters on the field. Banish 1 monster from your side of the field and 1 from your opponent's side. Send 1 random card from each player's hand to the graveyard. Destroy 1 spell or trap card from each field. And special summon 1 random monster from your graveyard to your opponent's side of the field. Special summon 1 random monster from your opponent's graveyard to your side of the field. Both players lose 2,000 life points. Make that 3,000 life points. Why not? Every time one of the previous effect is activated, you must shout boing or you lose the duel or your soul. And your soul. So, first off, let's dissect this card a bit. To activate this card, you must slam it on the field as hard as possible. There's no parameters for this. So you could just set it on the field and say you slammed it as hard as you can, because they can't really call you on that. This card cannot be negated. Fair. Change the positions of 2 monsters on the field. You see, all of these are like conditions that must happen for the next line. So if you can't resolve all of these effects, then you can't use the card. Because none of them are optional. So if you don't have 2 monsters in the field, you can't use it. Also, you can't use it because it's a counter spell card. A counter divine spell card. So, going over the specifics of a meme card. Probably not. Probably not, Can it beat War Rocks, though? Probably not. If you don't break the table, you're doing it wrong. You can call a judge. But you can't really judge that, though. That's not like something that is measurable. Alright, let's review the bouncing cards. So, let's give it a rating. How strong are they? Each one of them is pre-errata. Sinister Serpent, which is pretty strong. Are they creative? Sure, why not? They have really nice effects. Would they be viable? Yeah. because the advantage they gain is like better than dragon rulers. And how was the art? The art was great. So, I would say they're a little bit too strong. They're creative enough. They're viable. 10 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10, no, because they're a little bit too strong. That one line about how they return to your hand during the end phase without any hard once per turn, that's a little broke, and all of them have the effect. They're a little bit broke. I don't think they really intended them to be that broken, though. It seemed like they were having fun with the archetype, just bouncing stuff. So I would assume if there was pointed out to them how broken that effect is, they'd be like, well, what about the effect where they special summon themselves? And be like, yeah, that's pretty strong too, but returning every turn is also very strong. It seems like it would be an excellent danger engine. Boing boing. A boing out of 10? No, we'll give it a proper rating. And a proper rating is a 7, maybe 8. Well, compromise 7.5 out of 10 for the bouncing castle. And this is assuming the broken nature of all of them being a better Sinister Serpent is fixed. Because of the Sinister Serpent thing, though, it would go down to... it would lose all of its power points. So it'd probably be like a 5 out of 5. But we're assuming it's fixed. Okay. Next meme. Next card, I mean. To the degree which you take meme cards 100% seriously is honestly an inspiration. Why, thank you. I don't know if I'm inspirational, though, but... what the hell is this? I have a face reveal? Oh, yeah. The fake one. Okay, next up, we have... Brass Sax Knuckles, the Melee Magician. Bouncing Creator here, thanks for the review. I haven't played in 10 plus years, so I figured they were going to be unbalanced. I might try again in the future. Great job, GJX10. Also, thanks for the super chat. It's just a rush card. Yes, yes. Yeah, if you haven't played in 10 plus years, that wasn't a half bad archetype. Generally, like a lot of the custom cards that come in are sent from a very wide range of players. And it's real obvious the ones who don't really play the game, because the cards are like very underpowered. You know, you could have fooled me. Your cards were of the level where I thought you were probably an active player. It was really easy to miss that one line that makes them broken. Wow, TheDuelLogs is hot? Pff, I wish. I wish. If I looked like my face reveal, you could bet I would be a lot more popular. A bard, but monk. What is this tuba card? Yes, the person who sent this in said they were Rush Duel cards. They're not in Rush Duel format, but that's fine. Please watch 5Ds? Yeah, I don't really feel like it, though. You see, here's the problem with watching 5Ds. Like, I spend all my time watching VTubers, and I don't really have... Here, let me show you how much free time I have. I made a graph. This is my graph. Let me hide the custom cards real quick. I made this during my WoW stream. So, here's all the time I have. I have 40 hours of free time a week. Not 40 hours of free time. I have 40 hours of work time a week. And I spend 10 of those hours streaming. And I have 30 hours to get work to the 5 people who work for me. And the average WoW, Yu-Gi-Oh! And D&D video takes 4 to 8 hours to set up. On Monday, it took me 7 hours to set up a D&D video. The average video, it takes 8 hours to edit. I shoot 2 videos a week on each channel. But I usually only have 1 week. And I also spend 15 hours a week watching VTubers, you know, on the low end. So, like, there's no real room for me to add watching 5Ds to my schedule. Because, like, I'd have to give up one of these things, and I can't really find any free time amongst all of the work that goes into what I do every week. Who are you watching from VTubers? I've been watching just a lot of them. Like, you know, I watch all of Renee's streams and Gura and Amelia and Callie, assuming they're playing games I like. And I've been into Ritsu recently. So, anyways, that's irrelevant. Let's not get off topic. I was simply explaining why I don't have time to watch 5Ds. And your waifu friend Fubuki? I don't usually watch the Japanese ones because I don't speak Japanese. I only watch the ones who stream in English. Do you have a WoW channel? I do. I also have a D&D channel. Everyone, go subscribe to the TheDuelLogs if you're into Dungeons and Dragons. Or not, I don't really care. Okay, so, anyways, let's get back to the very important topic on hand. Reviewing custom cards. Wait, why VTubers? What about VTubers? Hololive English kind of guy? Hololive EN and Hololive ID. Because those are the two that speak English. Like, of all the Hololive ID girls, I think all of them speak English. But only like half of them speak English majorly. No Iron Mouse? No, I don't watch Iron Mouse because she makes me sad. So, Brass Sacks Knuckles of the Melee Magician. Or Melee. Ayunda's Arisu's 6. Yeah, she's great. 1000 attack and defense. Level 3. Warrior. If this card's normal summon, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, negate the target's effects, and if you do, that target loses 1000 attack. Alright, so. I have a little bit of experience when it comes to rush duels. This card is terrible in the TCG. In rush duels, this card is really good. Like, that's a good effect. These are some good stats, too. I like it. That's a good rush duel card. I don't think rush duels have synchros yet, though. A Project of Melody. What are rush duel rules? Rush duel rules are... what you do is you have basically a Duel Links field. Where you have 3 monster zones, 3 spell and trap card zones. However, every turn you draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. And there's no limit on how many times you can normal summon a turn. So if you have 5 monsters in your hand, you know, you can special normal summon 3 of them. And then tribute summon for the other ones in your hand. Basically, the only restriction is just having cards. You know, you can actually break yourself out by not using all the cards in your hand at the end of the turn. And because of, like, how easy it is to dump your entire hand every turn, like, the power level of the cards is really low. Like, think, even 2002 TCG power level is higher than Rush Duel. Like, it's really low. Great content you made for Yu-Gi-Oh! Wish there was content just as good for Magic the Gathering. Why, thank you, Kututuran. You know, I heard, MBT, I don't know this for sure, but this is something Joe told me, that MBT was a Magic the Gathering YouTuber, and he swapped over to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Magic the Gathering had such a high barrier to entry, because the videos were too good over there, and his stuff fit in better with Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know how true that is, because I'm not into Magic. But from that, it makes me seem like there's a lot of good Magic videos out there. And if there are, wouldn't there be a good channel that does what I do, but in Magic? I don't know. I don't play Magic. I've tried playing Magic, and I don't like it. I gave it a shot, and I was like, I don't like the mana system. Like, it's just so, ugh. It makes me feel gross. Okay. So. Next one. A Trumpetonifa, the striking musician. I will say, I do mispronounce cards on purpose a lot, but I also mispronounce them accidentally just as often. And I kind of do both of them just to annoy people. I'm sorry. Tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. It's level 6, right? Yeah. If this card is synchro summoned, you can add one warrior monster from your deck to your hand. This card gains attack equal to half the sent monster's original attack. Okay, once per turn, you can target one face-up monster in the field with less attack than this card. Return that target to the owner's hand. That's an excellent Rush Duel Synchro monster. But I resubmitted them today? Okay, okay. Next one, Nunchuck Clarionet, the Whirling Musician. What's your favorite deck? I don't have a favorite deck. The reason I don't have a favorite deck is because I'll play a deck for like a bit until I finally get it to work, and then I get bored of it immediately. So I'm constantly just making new decks. I enjoy the deck building process more than actually playing them. There are some decks that I like better than others, but I don't have a favorite. What do you think about the spider archetype? I love the spider archetype. I made a Duel Links video where I tried to get Mother Spider to work, and I never released it. Like, the video's done. I have it all ready to go. I just haven't, like, rendered it out, and I just never... I'm probably not gonna. I think it's a good video. I just kind of dragged my feet on it. And the video still works. The deck still works. It's a good deck, too. I just, you know, I don't really care that much. Whirling Musician. Warrior Tuner effect. You can target one face-up wind monster your opponent controls. Special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, this card's level becomes the level of the target. This card cannot be used as an Xyz material the turn you activate this effect. You can only use this effect of New Chulin Clarient Whirling Magician once per turn. If this card's sent to the graveyard as synchro material, return one card your opponent controls to the owner's hand. I see. A level 5 monster that can special summon itself from the hand in Rush Duels. That's also a tuner. I don't know how good this would be. It could either be amazing or kind of lackluster, because it is kind of hard to special summon. Its synchro summon effect seems nice, though. I do't where I please. Add one wind musician monster from your deck to your hand. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, the wind monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. You can only activate one I do't where I please per turn. I see, I see. Oops. These aren't Rush Duel cards. I took the card from Rush Duels and remade them into TCG/OCG cards. Oh. Well, I mean, in that case, they're very underpowered. If we're reviewing them in terms of Rush Duel stuff, they're great. These are great Rush Duel cards. However, when it comes to TCG, they are incredibly underpowered. So we're going to pretend they were made for Rush Dueling and review them that way. So, I do't where I please. Rating, we will give them a doot out of 10. Oops. Forget you saw that. I checked some Rush Duel cards. They are really weak. Yeah, these would be really good in Rush Duels. A doot out of 10. A doot is equivalent to around a 7. So just be aware of that. Would you review a custom card of mine's? Where do I send it? Custom cards? They're all sent to my Twitter. I'll be sure to link that at the end of the video. But yes, also thanks for the super chat, Yo Culprit. Yes, on Twitter. I also, you guys will be happy to know, I announced this a couple weeks ago, but I removed the reward tier for my Patreon for the guaranteed custom card review thing. I used to have like a, well, I mean, I still have it. There's a Patreon reward where you can pick a video idea. And I had a thing in there where I could review your custom cards as one of the videos, because that was back before I did the streams. And it wasn't that point. I saw a single comment where someone said I wouldn't review your custom cards unless you paid me. And I was like, that's not true. So I just removed it. It's no longer an option. Now no one can complain that I only review custom cards that people pay me to do. Now it's all random, 100% random. If you want a review, you just have to get lucky. Or be friends with me, I guess. But I don't have friends, so good luck with that. Hi, TheDuelLogs. Did you see the new sushi ship archetype? I did. It looks awesome. I love neural monster cards. The synchro monster is a foolish burial for warrior. Wait, what? From your deck to the graveyard, this card gains attack equal to the attack. Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster on the field. With less attack in this card, return to owner's hand. Into generic level 6. Okay, that's good. I guess I would upgrade that to a Doot +1. May I be your friend? I don't have any friends, though. Except YouTube hopefully still pays you. Oh yeah, YouTube does. Especially the super chats, memberships. Which reminds me, I have membership-only streams where we play Duel Links or other card games with each other. Those happen on Thursdays from now on. I'll be sure to post it. The only way to watch it is through the membership, through the community page. So if you are a member, you have to go there in order to... I'll be sure to set it up after the stream's done. That way it's scheduled for tomorrow. Okay. So, why do you synchro? Isn't Hardleg your friend, or is he more just a friend? Hardleg, he would be like a colleague? A colleague? Like, you know, we talk for collaborations, and that's about it. Like, he'll sometimes show up to one of my streams, I'll show up to one of his streams, but we don't really, like, hang out outside of collabs. I was thinking about inviting him onto a custom card stream, though. I was going to do it this week, but I forgot. I've been so busy this week. I spent 7 hours setting up a video on Monday that I thought would take me 2 hours. And then yesterday, I don't even know what the fuck I did yesterday. I wasted like half the day doing stupid shit. And now it's Wednesday, and I'm already like a couple days behind on what I had planned for the week. You have a nice voice. You should consider a side career, reading popular books for Audible, or just voiceovers like in movies. They have a narrator with a great voice, really relaxing to listen to. Okay, so that is a great idea, except for the problem being I have to be really careful about using my voice because it's real easy for me to like hurt my voice, hurt my throat from recording or streaming too much in just like a normal work week. So if I also added like professional voice work on top of what I already do, I would probably constantly be taking breaks to let my voice recover. Yeah, plus there's also the fact that I'm really busy already. Have I shown you guys my graph? Let me show you my graph. This is my, what the hell is this? All right. This is my graph. This is what I do all week. This is all the time I have to do stuff. As you can see, very, very busy. And there's nothing I can do to decrease the amount of time I work. Some would say probably don't spend so much time watching VTubers, but I say like, you know, shut up. So, Knuckles, realizing. Level 1, Wind Monster. Oh, do I have... Yeah, I do. Look at one of my channel emotes. I'll put it in chat. You could say I'm a fan of Ugandan Knuckles. Do you review custom summoning mechanic cards? Oh, yeah, I give like extra points to people who are creative. Also, King Cover win. Man, Renee has the best King Cover. That's what originally drew me to her channel. No time for extreme voice training. Dude, like, streamers who, like, yell a lot and stream every day, I don't know how they do it. Like, my voice starts hurting real bad if I just record a video after a stream. Like, those people, they must, like, take days off or they just don't talk after doing them. Alright, I haven't actually read this card yet, though. So, O Corakio das Cartas. What does it say? O Coraxio das Cartas. Is this Spanish or Portuguese? I know we have lots of Brazilian viewers. Wait, is Brazil only Portuguese or are they also Spanish? The TheDuelLogs talks too much. He starts talking with Akiza's voice. It's Portuguese, not Spanish. See, I knew it was either one of those. Okay, so level 1 Beast. You can discard this card from your hand and draw 1 card. You can banish this card from your graveyard to take control of one of your opponent's monsters in the field, but you will need to pay life points equal to the monster's attack unless it doesn't have defense points or have 0 defense. Equal to their attack. You can only use 1 PF the effects of Knuckles' realization once per turn. Dude, this card's really good. Acid on my vocals like I haven't slept in days. This card is, So, discard this card from your hand to draw a card. It just lets you cycle it into the grave. And then you can banish it from the graveyard to take control of one of your monsters. And paying life points, that's nothing. Paying life points is meaningless. This is a really good card. This would be a very good addition to every meta deck. It would definitely see play. There's no hard once per turns. You can only use 1 of the effects once per turn. Never mind, it has a hard once per turn shared between both of the effects. That is very appropriate. Oh, and welcome, Lucinia Ravenwing. Is Knuckles' realization at the bottom text a different card? If so, no once per turn. Knuckles realization. Let's just pretend he has the correct name in the hard once per turn. Blue Eyes Toon Shining Dragon. Slap a hard once per turn. It has a hard once per turn. Hello, Mr. Logs. Why does Knuckles look so traumatized? Because he has a broken card effect attached to it. Alright, let's give it a rating. This one will have a Buenos Dias out of 10. You know, because it's in Portuguese. Oh, sorry. Dias. Buenos dias, bande. That's Spanish, though. Yes, I know. I'm acutely aware that I got the language incorrect. Next card. Next up, we have the Grand Walker Dragon. Is this a levels 8 monster? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it is. Level 8, 7. Let's see, 1 tuner plus 1 level 7 dragon monster. Ooh. Is this support for dragon rulers? Rather, bonjour. Buenos dias is not Portuguese. Bom dia is Portuguese. Oh, I didn't know it was so similar. This is cool art. I think someone said it was from Vanguard fight? I don't know how to say the rest of it. Okay, hear me out. Hentai. What about hentai? What? Let's read the effect. A quick effect. You can move this card to another of your main monster zones. And if you do, negate the effects of all face-up cards in the column this card was in. Then this card gains 300 attack for each card in that column. Okay. Seems fair. If this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there from the field, you contribute 1 level / rank 7 or 8 dragon monster. Return this card to the extra deck. And also after that, you can special summon 1 the Grand Walker Dragon from your extra deck. You can only use each effect of the Grand Walker Dragon once per turn. Wait, what? So, the first effect. You can move this card to another of your main monster zones, and if you do, negate the effects of all face-up cards in the column this card was in. Which means you can't move it into a zone in order to negate a card effect that someone placed in another zone. You can only move it to negate cards in the same column as it, which allows your opponent to play around its negate, which could make its negate almost useless, or just situational, if this card is brought out easily. It's not brought out easily, though. So you can switch the card to the stronger ones for free? Sure, you can. However, you probably want to move it preemptively. You know, during your turn. You move it in front of the card you want to negate, and then during your opponent's turn, you can move it when you want to have that negate go off. And also, it gains 300 attack, blah, blah, blah. If this card was in the graveyard because it was sent there from the field, you can tribute a dragon, return this card to your extra deck. Also, after that, you can special summon a monster that shares this card's name from your extra deck. So basically, you special summon this card from the graveyard, but not from the graveyard, from the extra deck. Which means it loses the properties of being properly synchro summoned. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, what this means, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but a synchro monster is like the card itself remembers if it was brought out properly. So, if you brought this card out properly and it special summoned itself from the graveyard, it could keep special summoning itself from the graveyard over and over. But this effect basically allows you to special summon it from the graveyard, but you have to go through extra hoops first, which makes it forget the fact that it was brought out properly. So, you can't use it again. This is a very clever way of giving it like a, you can only use this effect once. I don't know if that was intentional or not, because I review a lot of custom cards. Since you're not supposed to know directly from the graveyard, it does not matter that it was not summoned properly. No, what I mean is, like, since it would basically cheat itself out of the extra deck, it can't use its effect again. Oh, wait. No, I think you're right. Because the effect doesn't special summon itself from the graveyard, it returns it to the extra deck and then brings it out, so you can use it again. I'm wrong, actually. You guys are right. Did you see my Wetlands Beatdown archetype called Marsh? Or can we put on the list to be selected from randomly? Marsh? I don't think I saw that. Marsh? You might want to send that in again. I am partial towards Wetlands Beatdown decks. Also, I have a lot of stuff sent in. I could have saw it, and then I just didn't pick it because I picked like 10 other things. Doot. I don't see it immediately. Oh, there it is. Oh, the ones with the Hearthstone cards. Or one of them was a Hearthstone card. I was looking at that before the stream started, but I didn't get to finish reading all of them. Okay. So. Blue Eye Spirit Dragon can cheat this out? Can it? Oh. Can it? This is a level 8 card, though. Isn't Spirit Dragon specifically 9 or higher? Because if I didn't mention the name, it can only be used once per turn. Yes. Okay. Let's go into the next one. Ow. Oh yeah, this is whatchamacallit, Felgrand support, basically. That's why it's level 7 or 8 dragons. Felgrand Riser VR. Once per turn, this card is equipped with a monster card. You can have the attack and defense of one monster on the field. You can only use one of the following effects of Felgrand VR once per turn. And only once that turn. During your main phase, you can send one Felgrand card from your deck to the graveyard, except Felgrand VR. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand. You cannot special summon monsters except Felgrand or Dragon monsters during the turn you activate this effect. Whoa, that's a good effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can, or quick effect, you can discard this card. What? That's confusing. Add 1 level 7 or 8 dragon monster from your extra deck, or extra deck, to a Felgrand monster you control. Oh, equip. Okay, so if this card's in your graveyard or in your hand, and it's a quick effect, you can discard this card. No, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate the effect to equip a card. Or you can send it from your hand to the graveyard to equip a card. Okay. That was confusing. Which is very in line for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So, basically, if it's equipped to a card, it has an effect, or it can have the attack and defense of 1 monster on the field. It also has an effect where it allows it to special summon itself from your hand by setting up a Felgrand card from your deck to the graveyard, which is good. It also has an effect where if it's sent to the graveyard, you can equip it to a level 7 or 8 dragon monster, or you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to activate that manually. Ugh, that was a lot. It's a good card. Is this art from Vanguard as well, or is it from like a mobile game or something? Can you please read Weir as fear, as in German? Weir? Is it Weir? 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 Next up, Felgrandrize Glands. It's a level 4 Dark Warrior monster. Dark Warrior combos. Once per turn, if this card is equipped to a monster card, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it. Ooh, that's good. You can only use one of the following effects of Felgrandrar's Glands once per turn, and only once that turn. So, you can discard 1 card, add 1 Felgrand card from your deck to your hand, except Felgrandrar's Glance. Okay. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can, or quick effect, you discard this card, equip 1 level 7 or 8 dragon monster from your extra deck or graveyard to a Felgrand monster you control. Alright. That's good. If this card is sent to the graveyard, it's not specific from the field, is it? So if this card is just sent to the graveyard in any way, you can activate its effect to equip basically any dragon from your deck or extra deck to a card you control. That seems a little good. A little broken. Just a smidge broken. Felgrand Weir's effect procs upon getting pitched or by its own pitch effect. It can actually make a Grand Walker Dragon live instantly. Instantly? Oh, that's why the effect is worded that way. Because it allows it to bring itself out even if it's not properly synchro summoned. Oh, that's smart. Felgrandrize Vargas. Warrior. Level 4, fire. Once per turn, if this card is equipped with a monster, you can destroy 1 monster in the field. And if you do, this card gains 300 attack. If this card is equipped with a monster. If this card is equipped with a monster. If this card is equipped with a monster. Oh, I got it backwards. So if these cards have a monster equipped to them, then it gains these effects. Gotcha. Once per turn, you can use one of the following effects. If this card is normal or special, you can add a Felgrand card from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except Felgrand or Dragon monsters. If this card is sent to your graveyard, or you can discard this card, equip a level 7 or 8 Dragon monster from your extra deck or graveyard to a Felgrand monster you control. Got it. So these are like much better Felgrand cards. Vargas is from a mobile game Brave Frontier. Yeah, I was like, this artwork is too good to have just been found randomly online. This is definitely like, and it's too consistent too. This all has to be from like a mobile game or another card game. I say mobile game because mobile games generally have really good art for like 2D images. Because that's how they get people to pay money. Okay. Next one. Felgrandrize Megistos. While equipped with a monster, monsters you control gains 1,000 defense. You can only use one of the following effects of Felgrandri's glands per turn, and only once that turn. You can target 2 Felgrand warrior monsters you control. They become level 7 until the end of the turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can, or quick effect, discard this card. Equip a level or rank. Equip 1 rank 7 or dragon monster from your extra deck or graveyard to a Felgrand monster you control. This one equips XYZ monsters. Whoa. Is it pretty now that I get them? Yeah. Yeah, they're Felgrand monsters. Felgrands revolve around level 7 and 8 monsters and equipping dragons to themselves that do stuff. These ones just all are a little bit better than the Felgrands that exist. Next one, Felgrandri's Alaya. Spellcaster tuner. Why is it level 3? Okay. Let me read the effect first before decrying its level 3 status. You can target 1 Felgrand monster you control, then declare a level from 1 to 5. It becomes that level. If this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can shuffle this card into your deck, then send 1 Felgrand monster from your deck to the graveyard. Except this card. You can only use each effect of Felgrandri's Aliyah once per turn. You can target a Felgrand monster you control, declare a level, it becomes that level. So it can make itself level 1 so that you can actually bring out the synchro monster. Gotcha, gotcha. Cypher shenanigans. Lightsworns come to mind. It also has a graveyard effect. To shuffle itself back into the deck in order to send a Felgrand monster from your deck to the graveyard. Which activates pretty much all of the Felgrand monster effects, since it doesn't matter how they're sent to the graveyard. Next one. Whoa, I bet this one sells a lot of packs in whatever mobile game they're from. Wait, it can target itself? Yeah, it just says you can target a Felgrand monster you control. She herself is a Felgrand monster, and it doesn't specify that you can't target herself. Felgrand Shanya. Level 3, another tuner. If this card is normal or special, you can add a Felgrand spell or trap from your deck to your hand, except Felgrandri's Shanya. If this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can shuffle this card into your deck, then send a Felgrand monster from your deck to your graveyard, except this card. You can only use each effect once per turn. Why is this one level 3? This is a super rare? I bet this is a super rare, yeah. I don't get why they're level 3 other than, like, you know, targets for Halki Fibrex. Unless there's more cards. No, there's no other synchros. The all-world Felgrandria. DuelLogs. Did you know there's a number 1000 and Z1000 are cards? I think that's cool, but what do you think? I don't know the significance of the numbers. Like, one of the most popular things people ask on a video is to go over the top 10 best number cards. And I was like, you know, numbers, I get that that's the name for a lot of the XC's monsters, but I never got the point of it. In fact, it's kind of annoying. Because, like, whenever I'm setting up scripts, I have to type out the full card's name, and I hate XC's monsters because they have such fucking, I mean, hecking long names because of that dumb number thing. Like, number 39 heroic champion Rongominiad. You know, they'll still have the whole goddamn name, but they'll also have number whatever in front of it. That's all I think about numbers. Numbers are annoying. I don't get why they're so popular. It has to be something with the anime. So yeah, I have heard of number 1000, but I don't really care. Is it special? Is there something special about the card? Is it like a boss monster from the anime? From the Zexel story? I don't know. I just know the actual name, the numbers, Masons, and what they mean. Yeah, number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy is definitely a lot of name. It's so annoying. I hate number cards. It has 10,000 attack. I mean, that's neat. It's anime lore? Okay, I don't know much about the anime. Is Axel's about the number cards? I don't like the number cards at all. Because they have really long names, and I hate typing out cards with long names. Like, I really hate the kaiju cards for the same reason. Like Gameciel, the sea turtle kaiju. Kaiju come up so much in videos, and I have to type that shit out every time. Gameciel, the sea turtle kaiju. How do you spell Gameciel? I don't know. It's a confusing name, and I always get it wrong. Or Mystical Space Typhoon. I have to type out Mystical Space Typhoon every time because my editor doesn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I hate long names. And number cards give them really long names. Okay, so the all-world Felgrandria. It's a field spell card. Let's get back on topic here. Monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each Felgrand card in either graveyard. You can activate one of these effects. Target a Felgrand monster you control. Equip a level/rank 7 or 8 or link 3 or 4 dragon monster from your graveyard to it. Whoa. Shuffle 2 level 4 or lower Felgrand monsters with different names from your graveyard into your deck. Add 1 Return of the Dragon Lords or trade-in from your deck to your hand. Ooh, is this a trade-in? A trade-in searcher? I don't think those exist. That's neat. Tribute 1 other face-up card you control. Take a Felgrand card from your deck, except the all-world Felgrandria, and either send it to the graveyard or add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. You can activate one of these effects. Okay, so the first 2 are soft once per turns. Right? And then the last one's a hard once per turn? No. I don't think the first 2 have a once per turn at all. It just says you can activate one of these effects. Target a Felgrand monster you control. Equip it to a monster from your graveyard. Shuffle 2 Felgrand monsters with different names in your graveyard to your deck. Add a return from your deck to your hand. If I'm reading this correctly, the first 2 effects are not once per turn at all. The third one is you can tribute a card to add a Felgrand from your deck to your hand. Or send it to the graveyard. And you can only use this effect once per turn. No, you can only choose one, and they are hard once per turn. Huh. Okay. Well, if that's the intention, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I mean, that's good. All those effects are good. It's nice to have options for it. And having a hard once per turn makes it not broke. The effect is choosing one effect. Yeah, I get it now. Has MBT ever contacted you, or are you the only ones collaborating? No. I don't think I've ever talked to MBT before. I've talked to Joe a lot, because we collaborate a lot. But never MBT. I wouldn't mind talking to MBT, but I don't reach out to people because I'm really busy. So unless someone reaches out to me, we're probably never going to interact. I have reached out to some people before, though. I've reached out to a couple of other, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTubers in the past. But they ignored me. So, you know, it's there or there, here or there. It's one activated effect per turn. Okay. Felgrand Fusion. Felgrand Rise Fusion. Fusion summon one dragon fusion monster from your extra deck. Using monsters from your hand or field and or shuffled Felgrand monsters with different names from your graveyard into the deck as fusion materials. Oh, wait, what? I lost track. Fusion summon one dragon fusion monster from your extra deck. Using monsters from your hand or field and or shuffle Felgrand monsters with different names from your graveyard into your deck as fusion materials. Okay. Makes sense. So it's like Poly, but you can also shuffle Felgrand monsters from your graveyard into your deck as a material. If you would fusion summon a Felgrand dragon monster, you can also use monster cards from your spell and trap card zones as fusion materials. Yeah, like the Vision Hero fusion card. Gotcha. Makes sense. Seems neat. The Cyber Load fusion. This came out of nowhere. What came out of nowhere? Like SIBO. Hey, SIBO's contacted me before. We were going to do a collab, and then it fell through. Because I suggested not using Dueling Book. And we were in talks, and it just never happened, because I don't like Dueling Book. Okay. Oh, that's it. All right. Felgran Archetype. These are all very well-designed cards. You grab some excellent art. This Synchro Monster surprised me by being much better than I thought it was. Let's give it a rating. We will remove Buenos Dias out of 10. And instead, let's see. Do they have a fusion? No, but there's a lot of dragon fusions. So, if we were to give this a rating, I would have to give this a 9.69 out of 10. Pretty good. Really good. Surprisingly good. Almost full marks. As high as you can get without it being a full mark. The only thing I drop it in is a little bit. Is just a little bit dip in creativity. Because everything seems, you know, it's very, there's lots of stuff that's going on, but none of it's like super creative either. Which is fine. But I highly value creative cards. I don't think I'd even give the cards I created a full 10 out of 10. Because I'm not creative. I'm not a creative person, but I highly value creativity. And these are pretty creative, especially the Synchro Monster. The Synchro Monster is really good. I like it. It's borderline busted, but it's well written. Yeah, that's an excellent way to describe the cards. It definitely deserves its 9.69 rating out of 10. Huh, did not know that. What happened? Hello? Hello? Okay. Let's go all the way. We're almost done. Okay. The Regrets of Lazarus. Ow, my hand. My foot hurts. What cards did I miss? I don't know. I like the Felgran design-wise. Yeah, Felgrans are neat. Too bad the actual Felgran cards are kind of, they were released a little bit too late. They were released when we were already at the point where your cards need to be broken in order for them to be competitive. Actually, let me look. Let me double check. When exactly did Felgrans come out? Felgrand. Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. No, that's not a real Felgrand card. Felgrand, Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand. Yeah, this is a real one. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, like, when they actually added good Felgrand support. Felgrand. Guardian of the Feldragon? Felgrand? Okay, here we go. Real Felgrand support came out in 2016. So, 2016 is... I think that's kind of awkward. Like, that's in between Pepe and Zodiac. Because I think Zodiac's came out in 2017. Let me double check. Zodiac Barrage. Came out 2017, yeah. So, like, Felgrands came out after Pepe, which is broke, but right before Zodiacs, which are also broke. So, they came out in 2016, yeah. They came out, you know, with their effects. They would have been good if they were released, like, maybe 5 years earlier. In 2016 is when Blue Eyes topped a world event, but sure, that's also when Pendulums first came out. And we had the powerful deck known as Pepe, Performapal Performages. So, you know, it was probably released in order to support Blue Eyes White Dragon decks. You know how much Konami loves Blue Eyes decks. Okay, let's go to the next one. The Regrets of Lazarus. I don't know who Lazarus is. It's a level 1 zombie that's light. Target one monster in your graveyard that lists once per duel in its text, except the Regrets of Lazarus. Banish 4 cards from the top of your deck, 4 cards from the top of your extra deck, and 4 cards from your graveyard face down. And if you do, activate and resolve the targeted card's effect, ignoring its once per duel clause once. You can only use this effect of the Regret of Lazarus once per duel. So it allows you, Lazarus? Are you sure this is biblical Lazarus? Oh, it is. I'm adding an R, which doesn't exist. You're right. It's just Lazarus. I was like, this is very similar to Lazarus, but it has an R in it, which actually doesn't exist. I'm just dumb and I read it wrong. Okay, so what would be the best card to copy with this effect? Let me see. Oops. Edo Pro. Let's remove face reveal down here. Okay, so what are some good once per duel? Once per duel. Dotscape? You can't special summon Dotscape with this. Once per duel. Destiny Hero Disc Commander. That's a good one. Draw 2 cards. I don't know if there's any other really good ones that you can actually copy with this effect. Because like most of them are like special summon this card. You can't special summon the card if you're copying the effect. Spore? You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You need to copy an effect. So I think Destiny Hero Disc Commander is probably the best one. Zombie World stuff? Electromagnetic Turtle? Yeah, I guess that's an effect you can copy. A bad effect. Right, let's... I think it's just probably Destiny Hero Disc Commander is the best one you can do. You can't really beat a +2. Well, it's actually a +1. Okay. Oops, wrong button. Alright, I think this is a singular card. Oh, it's the last one too. Alright, we will give it a rating. This one will be a Jesus out of 10. No, wait. Let's not get religious here. We'll give it a Zeus out of 10. Once out of 10. Alright. Lysis. Then, that concludes the custom card review. Hello everyone. I am TheDuelLogs, and this is the custom card review. Next week, we will have custom card review week. Maybe. Unless I'm lazy, or I'm still behind on work. Next week, I will try to have more than one custom card review. If I'm not able to do that, then I won't say anything. Look to my Twitter or whatever for it. Also, we will be having a, is there music playing on here? We'll be having a, members only stream tomorrow. I'll put a community post for that. Question, how do you use Twitter? You just sign up for it. Easy peasy. And if you wish to send in cards, you send them in through my Twitter, which I don't have over here for some reason. Something else. Forget you saw that. And custom cards. Nope. Here we go. How do you send in cards? What you need to do? Twitter only for now. One of these days, I'll probably set up something else because I know people don't want to use Twitter, which is understandable because Twitter is a cesspool. Is Ina streaming? I think so. She was streaming before I started. Yeah, she's streaming Splatoon, though. I don't like Splatoon. Will the Madoka cards be done next time? Right, I need to finish those up. Yeah, I'll be doing those next week. I give this a hirumaredx out of 10. Yes, yes. And remember, do not use IRL pics, only drawings. Remember to use images. I don't review cards if they don't have an image. And the cards must be in English because I don't speak any other language. Okay. Now, we can call it quits. And I'll just end it off. Goodbye. How do I mute my mic?